Alice in Wonderland. Retold from the story by Lewis Carroll. Chapter 1. Down the Rabbit Hole. It was a sunny day, and Alice was sitting on the bank of the river with her sister. The heat made her feel quite tired and was getting rather boring with nothing to do. Alice was just wondering if she could muster the energy to pick daisies for a daisy chain, when a white rabbit with pink eyes dashed past Alice. Didn't think much about it until she heard it mutter to itself, oh dear, I shall be late." And then when it took a watch out of its jacket pocket, Alice really didn't sit up and take notice. Alice followed the rabbit across the field and watched it disappear down a rabbit hole. Without a thought about the consequences, Alice climbed down after it. The hole began as a tunnel, but soon became steeper until Alice was falling, as if she were in a well. It seemed that she was falling very slowly, for Alice had plenty of time to look around her. The sides of the well were filled with cupboards and shelves. Alice managed to reach a jar that said orange marmalade on it, but found that it was empty. "I have fallen so far that I may reach the other side of the earth," Alice thought to herself. Wouldn't that be fun? Alice fell for so long that she was starting to doze off, when suddenly she hit the ground with a bump. A long dark passage stretched ahead, and the white rabbit scurried along, still fretting about being late. Alice followed, but the rabbit rushed off and she was left alone in a long hallway with doors along each side. A little three-legged table made of glass stood before her with a key on the top. Alice tried the key in all of the locks, but none of the doors opened. What was she to do? Then she noticed a low curtain with a small door behind it. The key was the perfect fit, and the little door swung open. The door was too small to climb through, so Alice knelt down to have a look. A passage led to the loveliest garden with bright flowers and sparkling fountains. How she longed to be there away from this dark hallway. If only I could close up like a telescope, thought Alice. Perhaps I could, if I think hard enough. So many strange things are happening today. Alice clambered to her feet and noticed something new. A little bottle stood on the table, which I'm sure was not here before, she said. The bottle had a label on it that said, "Drink me," in large letters. Alice was not so stupid. The bottle might contain poison, and Alice did not want to become a warning to other children. But the bottle was not marked poison, so she took a tiny sip. It tasted delicious, and soon she had drunk it all. "How very curious," said Alice. "I feel like a telescope." Sure enough, she had shrunk to the size of a doll. The table leg was now vast beside her, but at least she could fit through the door and reach the lovely garden. Alice waited to check that she wasn't still shrinking, for that might end in me going out altogether, like the flame of a candle, and then skipped to the door. But oh, she had left the key on the glass table and was now too small to reach it. Poor Alice began to cry. After a minute, Alice shook herself hard and pulled herself together. What was left of her was she was extremely small. She noticed a little glass box beneath the table. It contained a very small cake with the words "Eat me" written on the top. Well, here goes nothing, thought Alice, and nibbled at the cake. She held her hand to her head to see if she was growing again, and was surprised that nothing happened. Of course, that is usually the case when you eat cake, but Alice's days had been most peculiar so far, and she was beginning to expect the unexpected. Soon Alice had polished off the whole cake. "Oh," she cried as she began to feel a peculiar feeling. Oh, curiosa and curiosa. Her grasp of good English had gone with the shock of it all. Alice was growing again at an alarming rate. "Goodbye, feet," she called down to her shoes far below her. "It's been nice knowing you." As her head banged on the ceiling, Alice grabbed at the key on the table and made her way back to the door. Now she was so tall that not only was she unable to fit through, she also had to lie down even to see into the garden. She began to cry again and cried so many tears that she made a pool all around her. The sounds of footsteps made Alice stop and dry her eyes. It was the White Rabbit once again, dressed in his finest clothes and carrying a large fan and a pair of gloves. "The Duchess will be so angry," he fussed. And then he gave a start. When he saw Alice, he dropped things and ran in the opposite direction. Alice picked up the fan and wafted it in front of her as she pondered. Things were so strange today. Very strange. Had something happened to her overnight? Was she actually even Alice any longer? Well, I can't be Lucy, for she has dark hair, and I can't be Emily, for she is not very clever at all. Oh, who am I? Who am I? Alice waved the fan as she tried to think clearly. "Let me see how much I know," she mused. 4 times 6 is 13, and London is the capital of Paris. Oh, that's not right, she wailed, and then she looked down at her lap. The glove seemed the right size, and she saw that she had shrunk by fanning herself. She dropped the fan hastily, just in time to prevent herself from disappearing altogether. That was lucky, but other things were not. The key was still on the table, and she was once again too small to reach it. She was about to burst into tears once more, but as she stepped back in despair, her foot slipped. Splash! Somehow she was up to her chin in salty water. She thought she'd fallen into the sea, but then she made out she was in a pool of her own tears, cried when she was tall enough to fill the room. Poor Alice. As she swam and wondered what would happen next, a creature splashed past close by. Was it a walrus or a hippo? But no, she was now so small that it was only a mouse doing the crawl to reach the edge. Off the pool, Alice swam alongside and wondered if the mouse could talk. The mouse could indeed speak, and they chatted as they swam together. I do wish I hadn't cried so much, said Alice, as swimming was becoming very tiring. Alice and the mouse swam past the other creatures that had fallen into the pool. Among them were a duck and a dodo, an owl and a parrot, and finally they all reached the shore. Lucky they. They clambered onto the bank and sat there for a while, their fur and feathers and Alice's clothes dripping, and they wondered how they might get dry before they all caught cold. The best thing to get us warm and dry, offered the dodo, would be to hold a caucus race. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel and give a big thumbs up. Bye.